Well, according to Google.com, it happens to be Father's Day, National Father's Day, on November 12th, 2016, which is today. And it is exactly 262 days since my dad passed away. This is going to be a hard video to make. I've always wanted to make a video for him, a special video for him, but I just couldn't. And so my dad died out of one thing that I feared the most: cancer. Well, besides HIV, he died out of cancer. That means I could die out of cancer. But this is my story though. Other people's story are like way more concerning, way more devastating, but here's my story. So, my dad got prostate cancer, and the night before he passed away, the doctors found out that the cancer was all the way up to his throat, and that was the night before he passed away. But before that, he already had a lot of complicated things going on, complicated medical issues that I can't name because I wasn't always there for him at the hospital because I had to go to school. I was in Jakarta and my dad was in Semarang. So mom was the one who's there. So if you want to ask about more details about the disease, which is not really that important though now because he's already gone. The doctors found out that he had a stone in his kidney, so it had to be taken away. He got an operation, and then that is where the doctors got a sample for cancer. And it was so devastating. The day that I found out that he got cancer, it was in a theater. I was watching Deadpool with my friends, and I checked my phone and I saw a WhatsApp message from my mom saying that Dad got fourth stadium cancer. I stormed out of the theater building and I went to the prayer room and I just cried there. Like, I don't care about the movie anymore. My dad is dying, and I called my mom, I called my sister-in-law, and like everything was falling apart from there. Out of all the days that my dad could have given up, he never seemed to give up. He never did. Until that one day, I believe it was on a Friday, well, where his condition was getting much worse, and my mom asked if my brother and I could immediately go to Semarang because it was getting worse. And then, of course, we went on the first plane to Semarang, and at that time I was going through national exams and tryouts and stuff. Like, it was hard for me. And I remember on that day I cried in front of everybody because I just couldn't take it anymore. I knew it was gonna happen, and then I just cried. So we went on the first plane to Semarang and we found out that he already lost his consciousness. And that is where everything starts to collapse. And there's nothing much you can do, really. He needed to cuci darah. Cuci darah, what's cuci darah in bahasa Inggris? He needed to have a dialysis for his kidney, and yeah, it was just so hard. But everybody was being so kind, everybody was being so helpful, everybody loved him. He was such an amazing guy. He has a positive attitude and he's just so smart. He knows what to say. He's a lecturer at Undip Management. There's nothing bad that you could say from my dad. Like he's such a positive person. You can you can't say anything bad about him behind his back. Well, I do have something that I don't really like from my dad. The one thing that I dislike the most of my dad is that he is such a hard worker, and that takes away the time that we could have spent together. And he works a lot. He's a hard worker. He's an amazing person in general. Like, if you meet him, you will genuinely love him. So yeah. And the one thing that I learned from Dad was that he always waits for Mom to come home to eat, to have like dinner or lunch, but mostly dinner. He always waits for Mom to come home to eat together. Like, I don't even do that. I just eat whenever I feel hungry, and I don't wait for anybody. Dad always seems to wait for Mom to get home and to eat together. Like, he would wait on the dining table just to wait for Mom to come home, and I don't know. If that's not love, then I don't know what is. So my message here is just to cherish all the times that you spend with your family, your mom, your dad, your siblings, like anybody from your family. You love them every day, you hug them. I don't hug my family every day though, but now that there is Bainan, I hug Bai every day. Oh yeah, Dad never got to see his first grandchildren. Dad never got to see his first grandchildren. And Dad is never going to be there for my wedding day. That is the hardest thing. That is the one thing that I think about the most. Like, he's not going to be there on my wedding day. The last thing I would like to say is that thank you, Dad. Thank you for making me a better person. Thank you for educating me. Thank you for doing all these things for me and for the family. You're an amazing guy. I would just like to say thank you for everything. And thanks to all the dads out there who has done an amazing job. You the real MVP. And I would do anything in return. I am going to study hard, and you're my first motivation, and I love you, Dad. And I don't really know how to end this video, so I'm just going to put his favorite song, which is now my favorite song from him. Andaikan Kau Datang Kembali by Kuspas.